Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Matthew West, author of Purposeful Habits, Trust the Progress. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Hello, Paul. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm super excited to share my book with your audience.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. Are you ready to begin?
Absolutely.
All right. Question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Paul, that's a great question. So when you are contemplating about writing your own book, whether it's self-published or you're looking for a publisher, the piece of advice that I would share is to make sure that it's a topic that you have a passion for or you have an interest in, because it is something that you're going to have to dedicate a large amount of time, and it's going to take consistency. So the key message that I want to share is to make sure that it is something that you're truly passionate about and you want to give value to other people. So that's the piece of advice that I would share out to myself or any other person that wants to write a book.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
That's another great question. So the process of getting your book published, the challenge is really figuring out what it is or what area you would want your book to be published, whether you're going the self-published route or looking for a publisher. So really getting clarity about where you want to start, where you want your book to be seen, and really pushing it out there and marketing it to the right audience. And I think that's the biggest challenge is like, okay, where do I start? Like, there's so many different options. There's so much information out there. It's really getting that clarity about where to start and then taking those baby steps, those small steps that leads to the change or the actual results that you're seeking.
Excellent. Let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
So for me, social media is the most effective and most powerful way to really put your voice and really use that platform as a way to expand your book. And I think it's important to kind of build out a user base through social media, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or some platform that you feel most comfortable and you feel like you can continuously put out content. And then that way you have a base that is looking for possibly either a course or a book that you can push out. And I would say that social media is the most powerful, effective way to really market your book.
And what's social media in particular? I know you've touched on YouTube and a couple of others, but which one have you found to provide the best value?
So for me, I think the most value is by far Instagram. Instagram's reach, the number of people that are on there, the way you're able to target specific audiences, the way you're able to really build out a community. It's very powerful in that regard. And then also something that is just as powerful and it is growing is TikTok. I think TikTok offers similar effectiveness as Instagram, but it is another platform where there is a lot of attention. So with social media specifically, it's really where is the attention at? Where is everybody's focus? And for my knowledge, or at least my experience, Instagram and TikTok offers the best opportunity to really push what book you're writing, and really push that out there for people to know more about.
Well, I'd like to touch on TikTok a little bit more because that's one that I've heard about recently as well. And it seems to be that they are less algorithm based. They're kind of like how Facebook used to be when you actually would post something and everyone would see it. So, why don't you tell us a little bit more about TikTok, how it works, and the benefits? Because from what I'm hearing, that's like the new gold mine, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So the key with TikTok, it's I like to compare it to how Instagram and Facebook, when they were starting out,
Yeah.
it's easier to go viral. So that's the big thing. It's when you have a video or a piece of content that is very valuable, the reach in terms of virality of it is amazing, because you literally can post something and have thousands or even millions if it's streaming viral, and it can be in a short period of time, and you can really grow your audience a lot quicker. So I think that that component in itself, the organic reach is much easier than Instagram. Now with Instagram, it's very difficult to grow organically compared to TikTok, where it's super easy now. So I think now is just like a great time to get on the platform, start putting out content, see what works, see what doesn't, because it has a huge upside. Now that may change over time as the actual patterns start to kind of change and shift, and the content starts getting oversaturated. But yeah, that's the main piece. Is it's super easy to get that organic reach. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is it website based or is it app based?
So they do have a website, but it's much easier to be on the platform through your phone. So it definitely mobile. Your mobile phone is the best option when it comes to that. It's very similar to Instagram, where it's best to utilize your phone.
And is also hashtag based.
Yes, it does have that feature where you can use hashtags, and then also you can really. So not only that, but you can also get noticed by using certain songs. So that's another way to really get your content seen by more people, is kind of hop on what's trending in terms of the songs, and also trending hashtags as well.
So you talked about songs. What do you mean by that?
So there's certain popular songs that people already like. Like it may be a song that outside of TikTok that people already like, and what happens is people create a piece of content specifically using that song. So what happens is when you create a piece of content, your video is seen on that song. So it's similar to a hashtag, where your video is seen on that song, and it can move if it's featured high enough, like if it's a top post. Now you have the attention of a lot of people, because they may search that song and your video may be associated with that song. Does that make sense?
It does. So you can do hashtag We Will Rock You, and you're probably connecting with a bunch of Queen fans.
Yeah, potentially. Or the actual song. So you can, they have a feature where you can search for popular songs, and you can use that either in just a regular video, or you can dance. Like, so there's different ways you can get creative with TikTok, and I think that's where there's a huge upside to really use your creativity and making a video that is either educational or funny or just simply entertaining.
I love that you mentioned that, because one of the things that I've always missed was back in the MySpace days, on your page, you could actually play music off of it. And when everything migrated to Facebook and Instagram and to all these other places, they didn't give you that option. So I love the fact that you can integrate this on TikTok with the post, putting it in the music that you like, and then the potential for that to go viral with your own branding.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know what is your favorite book and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
So my all-time favorite book is by an author named James Clear. So the title of his book is called Atomic Habits. And it really resonates with me because I truly believe that once you're able to change your habits, you can really start making changes in your life. And it could be as simple as going to the gym more consistently, or eating better, or having better sleeping habits. So that's a book that really has inspired me to write my own book, and also inspired me to change my own habits and apply the information that was shared in that book. So without a doubt, that has been the most influential book that I've read recently.
Excellent. And then for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
That's a great one. So, I mean, that there's so many, but one that has kind of hit home for me, and it's fairly recent, was the passing of Kobe. But one that really touches me and really sticks with me is, the moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win. And that was a quote by Kobe Bryant. And for him, it was all mental. Like, physically, he may have not been the best player, but mentally, he was mentally tougher than any player on the court and off the court. And that's something that I aspire to be, is just mentally tough and be able to be the best that I can in everything that I do, whether it's being a father, whether it's being a husband, whether it's being a great writer, whether it's being consistently going to the gym. So that is a quote that really resonates with me, and I apply that to my life on a daily basis.
Would you tell us that quote one more time, please?
So the quote is, the moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win.
I love that quote. In fact, I remember I saw that on Donaville Sports Center or The Jump earlier this week, and that quote really resonated with me. So I'm so glad that you brought that one up. I'm really glad that you did, because you're absolutely right. The minute you give up, other person wins. Don't let it happen.
100%.
Well, Matthew, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show today. What is the best way for people to find you online?
So the best way is my website. It's www.IamMattWest.com. You can also find me on Instagram at IamMattWest. I'm on TikTok as well, same handle, and also you can find me on YouTube at IamMattWest.
Excellent. Well, Matt, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
I appreciate you, Paul, and I thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.